Alright, this is part 3. Like I said before, I do apologize. But unfortunately, um, we just have a lot of material to cover, and there's just no way I can do it without making it a 90-minute special or something. So I'm just splitting it up into chunks for you. You can read a piece, watch a piece, learn a piece, and keep moving forward. Why do we do this stuff? Because this is what we do for our clients here in the DC area, is we educate them. We want them to know everything there is to know so that they make right decisions financially. That's why we do it. Again, some people who live in the DC area say, how can I get on board? Great. You can get on board. Number 703-646-3941, and you can definitely be contacted back and learn how you can also deal with this financial freedom train that we've created. But anyway, never mind that. Never mind that. We're talking about politics right now. Okay? So we've gone over China. What happened? What didn't happen? They had a whole bunch of different viruses between 2020 and the year 2000. Why didn't we hear about them? 2 reasons. Like I said earlier in one of the other ones. We don't care. That's the first reason. And the second reason is they keep it quiet. It's a communist group, okay? They don't advertise this. So now we were discussing what Trump's involvement with this is. He cut the pandemic down to nothing. So that's a bad thing. Because I don't think he ever thought in our lifetime that we ever have a pandemic. Well, we did have a pandemic, okay? Hate to tell you the facts of the life as things are, but facts be facts, we have it, okay? If I take this camera outside, you will see people walking out in front of my home wearing masks. So the pandemic is real, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Trump, Donald Trump, okay, and how he handled it. So first of all, we're going to look at his accomplishments and then his failures, okay? So like Bush in 2006, creating a catastrophic global recession from his actions. I think what happened is in a fit and rage, based upon what my Chinese people are telling me, they left those domestic flights closed, and they left those international flights open for one reason only, this, okay? I think we have to understand that we ended up devaluing their money, and I think that really was the starting factor that ended up becoming a pandemic. But let me read you this other article I wrote. Like Bush in 2006, creating a catastrophic global recession from his actions. In Bush's case with Cheney, boosting with Halliburton after the Iraq War, he allowed regulations to slack on Wall Street by creating mortgage derivatives, whose implications in the 2006 to 2010 felt around the world. In Trump's case, in his war to win at all costs, he pilfered the taxes to cover the U.S. debt by ignoring it as well in a quest to boost us into an anemic economy and push the Chinese too far with his trade war in 2017 to 2020, forcing them to no longer support us through the purchase of federal mutual bonds, which shoulder up our enormous debt, especially since we only have $350 billion worth of traditional gold reserves at Fort Knox. What that means is basically you should have read or should have watched by now Anthony Davis's 10 Myths About Government Debt. Now we're discussing it. So what happens is, with China as an enemy instead of as an ally, this country's bankrupt. Okay, basically we're just plain bankrupt. And you need to watch that. I can't stress it much. I have it at the end of every video. If you haven't watched it by now, you need to understand what's going on around you. It helps when you're investing. Anyway, I gotta find where my place is, man. This is being supplemented today by the Federal Reserve, which weakens the dollar through inflation on our savings. So what that means is basically they're trying to print money to get themselves out of this debacle. That's just asinine, incredibly stupid. All you do is just create hyperinflation. At some time you'll devalue the money down to zero. We are in serious dire straits with this stuff right now. That's why, again, you need to watch that. Secondly, when he invited, I guess Congress didn't instruct him the woes of doing, but when he invited the concept of bullying into the administration's tactics, and then decided to bully the China by creating these tariffs on it, they just definitely retaliated. I mean, it's almost inevitable at that point. And as I mentioned earlier, then they ends up setting their citizens as terrorist weapons without them even knowing it on international flights, or closing down domestic travel to reduce the spread of the epidemic within their own borders. Why? Because in the trade war, we forced them to devalue their money. They devalue their money at least twice that I'm aware of. And that means that they have to work more and then get less. And believe me, Chinese people don't like that. No, actually, no one does. Okay? So, no one is arguing that China is the source of the epidemic. But Trump created such a hostile environment with them, along with Pelosi's impeachment in January. It would have been contained within the borders, like the avian flu and all the other SARS viruses that preceded it in that country. So they just let it fly. They just said, you know what, you just let it fly. And what's the sad part about all this? By letting it fly, then, you know, the whole world suffers. And that's exactly what happens. Okay, we've got another section here. We're going to 4 sections. I can't believe this. All right, we're going to talk about Trump's achievements, and we're going to talk about his failures, okay, as a president. And the failures, the achievements, well, we'll see in just a moment. So bear with me. Again, like I said, this is a lot of material. I apologize up front. I know this is frustrating. I keep breaking this up. It needs to be done, because otherwise you've got a 90-minute video on your hands. And I'm not doing a 90-minute video. It's just asking too much for my clients to do so. Talk to you in a little bit.